What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Nerdy Mark channel. Sid the Nerdy Mark here. Let's just dive right into it. What's your fantasy? Cody Rhodes Heel Turn, Part 2. Hit it. Now, before we begin, I know, Cody Rhodes is the current TNT champion, but remember, this is an alternate universe. This is my universe. This is the Nerdy Mark cinematic universe, or the Nerdy Mark wrestling universe in this case. And this is like my version of What If. So this is, like I said, this is taking place in a wrestling multiverse. So in my multiverse, Cody Rhodes doesn't become champion. I mean, you know what happens if you watch the last video. Go check it out if you haven't already. I mean, I hoped you would watch the first video before you watch this one. But anyway, but there are some crazies out there. You never know. But anyway, so with that being said, before we continue proper with the booking, there are a few pieces that I have placed in motion. So let's talk about that for just a sec. So here are some pieces in motion before we proceed proper with the booking for Cody Rhodes' heel turn, continuing that. So before we make it to All Out, here are some things that I want to talk about real quick. So just like in reality, Kyle O'Reilly shows up at the Holiday Bash last week, and along with Adam Cole and Bobby Fish, they can wrestle the best friends at Revolution while Cody Rhodes is wrestling Malachi Black in that 3 Stages of Hell match. We have the Bucks finally getting betrayed by Cole, O'Reilly, and Fish after maybe a 10-man tag match, something, I didn't think all of this all the way through because I wanted to make this quick. We also have Red Dragon, which is Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish, at Double or Nothing after a tag team eliminator tournament. The Young Bucks versus Red Dragon in the finals at Double or Nothing. We have Red Dragon win that in order to finally gain a shot at the AEW tag titles versus the Lucha Bros. Tell me you don't want to see that match. That match will happen at Fyter Fest 2022. And on the Rampage after Double or Nothing, like I mentioned in my last video, Pac versus Sammy Guevara is the main event of Rampage, and Pac beats Sammy to become the new TNT champion. However, Cody Rhodes still is trying to force himself as the leader of this new kind of group that he's had here. Because of me, I made y'all are still champion, or y'all are new champion and stuff like that. But Pac doesn't really like this because he answers to no one. So finally, after weeks of teasing this split, finally on an episode of Rampage, since Pac is the TNT champion, Pac and the Lucha Bros finally just kind of desert Cody in like an 8-man tag match. They just kind of leave the ring and let Cody fend for himself. And Cody, gets pinned. He loses. Death Triangle do leave Cody to lose the match. Death Triangle still continue their run with their tag team titles and TNT titles, respectively. At the same time, the Young Bucks still are having issues with UE, and they finally decide to rekindle their friendship with Cody Rhodes. They kind of finally go to him and say, hey, we need your help. And Cody does help the Bucks at Fyter Fest, help them cost Red Dragon the AEW tag team title shot against Lucha Bros. But of course, in return, Cody does ask for a favor. So those are the pieces that I have in motion. I hope you caught all that. I went a little bit fast. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to make this video quickly so I can edit it, or film it quickly so I can edit it. But anyway, with that being said, let's find out what happens at AEW All Out 2022. So before the main event, which is Cody Rhodes versus Hangman Adam Page for the AEW World Title, we do see Hangman going to the back to see the Dark Order while he's preparing for his match. And he does see that the Dark Order is all laid out in the locker room. Someone came in and beat them all up. Fast forward to the main event, Cody Rhodes versus Hangman for the AEW title, like I mentioned. Page does hit the Deadeye towards the end, but the Young Bucks do come out to distract the ref. But all of a sudden, the Undisputed Era come out and basically beat up the Young Bucks, because that feud is still going on. Page then takes all 5 of them, the Bucks and the Era, all 5 of them, with a huge suicide dive off the top rope. Page is setting up for the buckshot lariat, but a hooded figure, maybe a cameraman, comes and grabs Hangman's leg, not letting him hit the lariat. This allows Cody to finally recover. And once he's recovered, the hooded figure lets Page go. Page goes for the lariat. Cody Rhodes dodges Crossroads, but then hits one more, and then another, and then another. So 4 Crossroads, I think. And finally, he covers Page 1, 2, 3, and new AEW World Champion, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. The Young Bucks do join Cody Rhodes in celebration, as well as the hooded figure, who is revealed to be a rehabilitated Kenny Omega. And all 4 original Elite members are back. The EVPs are back together, and the final image is all 3 of them lifting Cody up on their shoulders while Cody raises the title in victory. So now it is the Dynamite post All Out, the fallout of All Out, the All Out fallout, whatever you want to call it. Cody, Bucks, and Kenny Omega, the Elite, come out, to the Elite theme song. We have all 4 of them in the ring, and they're celebrating. Cody gets on the mic as new AEW champion. He puts the title on his shoulder, cuts a promo talking about how there will now be order in AEW. Now that the EVPs, or the Elite Vice Presidents, are together once again. Hangman Adam Page interrupts, and he says to Cody what he did was dishonorable and not within the Cowboy Code, something in a violation of the Cowboy Code, whatever he wants to say. Cody retaliates and says, Hangman, listen, I know how you're feeling, but I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to beat you, but I had to, because AEW needs my help, our help. Turns and looks at Kenny and the Bucks. We're finally going to turn AEW into what it really can be, but Adam, you can be a part of this too. You were one of us. We used to be family once, and we're giving you a chance to come back. You were doing so well on your own until last Saturday. Points at the belt. Adam, take my hand. Come home to your real family. Without us, you have no one else around here. You need my help. Adam refuses to take Cody's hand, and Cody just looks at Kenny and the Bucks and nods. All 3 of them give Adam Page a super kick. Cody kneels down and grabs Adam by the hair and says, I don't think you understand. Let me help you. Adam spits on Cody's face, who signals to Kenny and the Bucks as they set up for the BTE trigger. And the Undisputed Era now, they interrupt and they run in, beat up on Kenny and the Young Bucks. Cody Rhodes is watching in anger and in disbelief as all the other 6 men brawl to the back. And Page finally recovers and hits a lariat onto Cody Rhodes to end this segment. We're now building up to AEW's Blood and Guts. It's not a pay-per-view, it's obviously on free TV. It's a special, and it'll be airing on TBS. We have Hangman Adam Page and the Undisputed Era getting on the same page, no pun intended, to take on the Elite, Cody, Kenny, and the Bucks. We now have promos leading up to this match. We have promos of the Undisputed Era, Kyle O'Reilly, Adam Cole, and Bobby Fish talking about how they have thrived in these types of matches before, basically calling back to War Games. And they also mentioned that we may not really care much for Hangman over here, but the enemy of my enemy is my friend. And so they're not necessarily turning face, kind of more tweener, to be honest. I kind of like them more as tweeners. So, that's just me. The EVPs, they basically talk about, we have been a team. We've been a family for over 6 years. While Era and Hangman, you people can barely stand the sight of each other. Just promos like that. So finally, we do have AEW Blood and Guts, the final stop in this booking. And it is, of course, Hangman Adam Page and the Undisputed Era versus the Elite, Cody, Kenny Omega, and the Young Bucks. I basically wrote down the order in which all the combatants are going to enter. We have Cody Rhodes and Hangman starting things off. Then Kenny Omega will enter. Then after that, Adam Cole, baby, enters, immediately goes after Kenny because of their past history, and they've been teasing, some tension between each other for a while now. And Matt Jackson finally enters. Then after that, it's Bobby Fish. After that, it's Nick Jackson. And then after that, Kyle O'Reilly. All 8 men entered. And finally, we have our Blood and Guts match. Let this match go for a good 20 to 30 minutes. Let all 4 men just absolutely batter the hell out of each other. No outside interference, no shenanigans, no Undisputed Era turning on Hangman and joining Cody Rhodes. I'm not going to do any of that. You can do that if you want to, but I'm going to make this a clean match. I am going to have the Elite go over after a good 20-30 minute bout, exerting their dominance, because as they are finally back as a group, they need to look strong. So this is their first big match, so they need to exert their dominance. So of course, because of that, the Elite win. Now, I know in my past 2 bookings, I talked about potential feuds. Now, I'm not going to do that this time around, because I just want to kind of talk about maybe where I think things can go from here. So, for example, I think Hangman Adam Page just can do his own thing. Maybe he can work his way back up to the title picture again and, face off against Cody Rhodes one more time. Cody Rhodes could even have a match with like CM Punk, because CM Punk is very much anti-authority, anti-establishment, and that story just kind of writes itself. And from here, after that, maybe the Undisputed Era, Red Dragon can try for the AEW tag titles again. I wouldn't mind Cole going for Pac and his TNT title. I think even the Undisputed Era and Death Triangle could get into a full-fledged feud. There's definitely a lot you can do, going from here. But I just wanted to book this one match so that, Cody Rhodes as a heel and, the Elite, who are already heels, can come together and exert their dominance on to AEW. But like I said, from here, there are definitely endless possibilities. So that's pretty much it. That is my fantasy booking of a Cody Rhodes heel turn. I hope you guys enjoyed both parts. What did you guys think? If there's another way that you would have done it, let me know in the comments below. Thank you for sticking with me this entire year through my ups and downs and whatnot. 2022 is going to be a banger. It's going to be great. But yeah, with that being said, thank y'all for watching. Have a safe and happy new year, each and every one of you. And I'll see you guys in 2022. Take care. Bye-bye.